What up, what up, what up? What's happening, my brothers and sisters? All you groovy guys and groovy gals out there, as we used to say. Pastor here. Let me see if I can get some people tagged up right quick. Hoping that everybody had a good day today. Something a little bit more laid back on the music end tonight. It's a little tune called "The Creator Has a Master Plan." Originally recorded by a jazz artist by the name of Pharaoh Saunders. And this is I guess today we would call it the remix. This is another guy by the name of Norman Connors. The Creator Has a Master Plan. So I'm gonna just let the music roll on for a minute while I get some folks tagged up. Much love to everybody. You know, with all the chaos and confusion we got going on around us, sometimes you just got to rein that thing in and just chill for a minute. For sure. Y'all please feel free to tag other folks on this live or share it out. It's going to be some interesting conversation tonight for sure. One of the things that I found amazing in my time of activism is how many people always talk about, well, I didn't know. I don't get it. I ain't never had no trouble getting in good trouble. For sure. The Creator has a master plan, y'all. The words that are very sparing in this song are: the Creator has a master plan, peace and happiness through all the land. For sure. What up, though? What up, though? Norman Connors, the remix of Pharaoh Saunders. Sometimes you got to go into that old school bag for sure in order to settle a heart, settle a spirit, in order to rein it back in the midst of chaos and confusion and everything. And ain't nothing like that right there, for sure. Especially with a backdrop of the Creator has a master plan, peace and happiness through all the land. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. My good sister Michelle, good evening. How are you? Brother Jason, the soldier. What's going on, my brother? Boy, that's some crazy stuff you just sent me there, man. Boy, you know them folk must be grabbing at straws out there, man. We done shook them up. We done shook them. They done went crazy. They done went fool, as they say here. For sure. Miss B, what's happening? My brother Nick the soldier, for sure, what's happening? And Sister Soldier, too. Sister Soldier, what's going on? Man, gonna talk about your event up in Orangeburg tonight, that's for sure. Looking forward to kicking it there. And Gina, good to see you also. Gonna be talking about you and Erica's event tonight, too. Yeah. Nikki, what's going on? Say, play that Byron Cage, huh? True that. Brooke, what's happening? Alrighty. Back at work, huh? Merrill, Brady chapter in the house. Brady, South Carolina in the house, for sure. Yes. Kristen Graziano, our candidate for Charleston County Sheriff, in the room right now. Kristen will be on a live with me on Wednesday with me and our community representatives. We'll be talking about her campaign. And the community representatives, I don't mean them people that you always see in front of them cameras and carrying on, all them folk that, you know, they like to get dressed up and their names always out there. No, when I talk about the community representatives, I'm talking about Ricardo Lewis and Sean Middleton and Omar Fall and the O, and of course the inimitable Queen Christine Washington. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Y'all tune in. Set your clocks, okay? For sure. And of course, Regina Duggins on here, Gina Mocha, right? She's running for, I believe it is school board or constituent board. One of the two, somebody's, yeah, she's running to take care of our children in the educational field. All righty. James, how are you? All right. For sure. I love it. I love it. Sean, how you doing? Good to see you. Man, Corey, what's going on, brother? How's it going? Y'all stay safe back in the Chi now, for sure. I'm looking forward when I can get back home. Man, messed all my plans up for this year. Casey, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for checking in tonight. Really appreciate it. That's right, Sister Michelle. Real people doing real things. That's what we do. Creator has a master plan. Pastor Benton, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in. Our Deputy Chief, Karen Cordray, good to see you. All North Charleston's finest in the house. North Charleston Police Department's finest in the house. Tate, what's happening? All righty. All right there, soldier. Salute. For sure. Latoya, what's going on? How are you? Good to see you also. Yeah. Rajan, what's happening? All right, let me stop this right quick. Before that next song play, like I say, you might hear the next thing up might be some DMX or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a different kind of pastor, y'all. I believe in being about it, not talking about it. That's for sure. Yeah. Dex, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. And Michelle, what's happening? All righty. I see all the soldiers in the house tonight. For sure. So good to see everybody. Good to see y'all. I'm going to set this down here, see if I can prop it up a little bit. Yeah. The Creator has a master plan. I know there are a lot of people who, don't expound to the Creator theories or believe in anything like that. I just happen to believe, okay? I'm not Pastor Dixon because I don't believe. I'm Pastor Dixon because I do believe. Well, I'm actually Pastor Dixon because that word pastor means a shepherd, someone who tends a flock. That's all that word pastor means, someone who tends the flock. And for me, since I came out of prison in 2001, and even while I was in there, I felt a strong calling to tend the flock, to make sure people were being treated well, to make sure they were being fed and housed and clothed, doing what we're told to do through the scriptures and not just talking about it, So, yep, Pastor Dixon here. Good to see all of my good friends on right now, for sure. Yeah. All right, Christopher, what's going on from Greenville? Thank you so much for tuning in, for sure. Sherelle, what's happening? Lucille, what's going on? Good to see you also. Yeah, for sure. Jamie, what's happening? Good to see you also. Thank you, Good Shepherd. Okay, all right. And that's why I'm not all that big on like titles. Folks call me Pastor Dixon. I appreciate that. But if you don't want to call me Pastor, I'm good with that. Benita, what's going on? Good to see you. How little man do? Little man ain't little no more. That's right. For sure. Yeah, I'm good with that. You don't have to call me Pastor. It's like with people who work on our trash trucks, okay? We don't call them Trash Man Dixon. We just call him Joe or Fred or something like that, right? Pastoring is my job. This is what I do. This is my duty to humanity. So if you feel like you want to call me pastor, well and good. If you feel like you don't want to call me pastor, well and good. My name's Thomas, okay? That's my given name for sure. Well, that's my government name. Yeah, that government name for sure. Francis Baylot, good to see you, brother. All right, good to see you. It's been a little while since we connected. Robert, good to see you also. So, I'm not going to delay tonight any. We're going to get off into this thing. Okay, let me take off my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. That's a line from an old Parliament Funkadelic song. Okay, I got a little musical history, for sure. Used to play a little bit in a band here and there. You know, started out unusually playing the Beatles and Motown. A little something, something about the pastor. Y'all can put it all together. One day I'm gonna get this book together, right? And probably it'd be the hardest thing to get it published and then wind up giving it away, because I don't like to charge folk for stuff, for sure. It's a lot of people out here who want stuff but can't necessarily afford stuff, for sure. Yeah, Sheree, please call me by that government name. For sure. It's all good. It's all good. I just appreciate the fact that, even before we started in this activism thing, man, you came together with Sean Dobie and Lisa Williams and Link Capone, and y'all dropped some bars on it for me while I was just running for office, man. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Sweet Nicole in the house, for sure. For sure. We say put that book out. That book coming out. It's gonna come out. And it's gonna name names too. It's gonna be some folk gonna be mad at me. But I ain't mad. What do you fight me? What you gonna do? Man, I come from the hood. I come from the projects of Chicago, born and raised there. I'm a 30-year man. When I go back, I'll go back OG status, straight up. I've been shot at, been involved in gang situation and all of that, been to prison. So, man, ain't nobody out here, man. Plus, I know who I serve anyway. Straight up. So get mad. If you mad about the truth, then so be it. Miss Sass, how you doing? Iona, good to see you, for sure. D Shanti, man, I hope you're feeling better. I heard that you were feeling better. Good to see you, though. And Cherry, good to see you also. Man, all the great people in the house. A lot of times when I do these lives like this, man, just seeing the names that come up, because I know all of the folks that get on here, or at least 99.9% of them, because the folks that used to come on to cause confusion, they stopped visiting, okay, which is good with me. But now when I look down the list of people who log on, is just such an amazing heart sentiment, a heart feeling, a good feeling. Because I know that most of the folks that's logging on here is folks that follow behind John Lewis and get in that good trouble and that necessary trouble. Folks that when I turn around out on the battlefield, they ain't ran, but they still standing there right with me. Man, I love y'all. I love all of y'all, for sure. More than you will ever know, okay? So let's start off tonight, as I have for the last, what is that now, 4 months now, since March the 16th, March the 14th, with the coronavirus update. This is just going to be quick, going over them numbers, and then we're going to get into what's happening. Because the real is, we can talk about, the coronavirus situation and the numbers and all of that, but unless everybody is taking this thing personal, because we can't expect the government to do anything for us unless everybody is understanding that we must continue washing our hands frequently, that any time that we have to go out of the house, then we need to make sure that if we're around others, we're wearing a mask and we're practicing social distancing. And if at all possible, if we don't necessarily have to go out, just stay in the house. Because no matter what they say about this darn virus, this thing is getting worse. But in the midst of it, though, and tonight, this is where we're going to go after COVID, is the fact that there are some amazing people in our area doing amazing work that I've been anxious to see throughout my years of activism. And that's groups that are coming up, a younger demographic of folks who are not only involved and engaged in social justice reform, advocacy, and activism, but they are strategic in what they do. They're smart, and they ain't scared. And man, from Pastor Dixon to all of you, I love it, for sure, for sure. Yeah. That good trouble. That's right. That's that good trouble. Tania, what's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. All right, Eliza, good to see you also. Pastor Whaley, what's going on, my brother? Good to see you also. Eli, man, excellent interview with Jamie Harrison. I finally got a chance to get around to it, and I'm posting it on all of my pages tomorrow, okay? because people need to hear what man you just hit it all. You hit it all. Thank you, Eli. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Eli is one of the younger activists that we got in our community, and definitely one of our premier interviewers that we have in the area. So that's what this thing is all about. That's yes, they will. They for sure. I know y'all. Look at it. You chiming in. Our activist community chiming in right now. We won't be silenced. That's right. They will hear our voices. That's right. That's right. I'm down. I'm down. You know, Pastor Dixon down for sure. So this COVID update. Where we at? Where we at? Yeah, that good trouble. Where we at with COVID? Globally, as of today, okay. As of today, we just under 700,000 deaths globally in about 8 months. Okay, around the entire, a little over 8 months actually, around the entire globe, just under 700,000 deaths in less than 9 months. Okay, that's where we're at. To put it more in context, last Friday was my last live that I did, and the number of global deaths was 675,000. Now it's 691,000. 16,000 people died from COVID-19 around the globe in 3 days. Okay, this thing's serious, folks. It's extremely serious. Don't play with it, for sure. There's a lot of people that played with it that regretted it. They have them on tape. They've recorded them. Those last words being, "I never should have went to that party. I shouldn't have gone to the beach. I messed up." That's right. That's right. And we don't want to be one of those in that number. And if it is at all possible, stay away, cover yourselves. And then there's so much, it's just so much you can do also, because my good friend Papa Smurf, he came back with a positive. So keep him lifted up in prayer, keep him lifted up in prayer. Fortunately, there are, the survival rate is good. So fortunately, so keep him lifted in prayer for sure. So that's globally. Globally, almost 700,000 dead in less than 8 months. Nationally, in the United States, we've had almost just over 155,000 deaths in the United States, and that's been since February 6th, okay? In 6 months, since February 6th, 178 days ago, we've had 155,000 deaths in the United States due to COVID-19. And there are folks that want to talk about, well, they're messing up the numbers and blah, 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 and they're playing these games or whatever. The game that they're playing is that most of the scientists, actual scientists and epidemiologists right now believe that the number that I just quoted to you is low compared to the actual number, because there's so many deaths that have happened as a result of COVID, but haven't actually been recorded as deaths. So they're saying it's probably about 10 to 15% higher than the number I just gave you. So for all them people that want to downplay this situation, no. 155,000 dead in the United States in 178 days in 6 months' time. How did that pan out since my last live last Friday? Last Friday, it was 152,000. So we lost 3,000 people in the United States in 3 days. 1,000 people are dying per day. And that's been pretty consistent over the last, during the month of July, entire month of July. About 1,000 people per day are dying from COVID. And if it was, some fake stuff or whatever, I wouldn't even be talking about it. But this is real. This is real. Those who say, well, it's other things or whatever, they just don't understand how COVID operates. And if they do a little bit of reading, more reading than they are running off at the mouth, they would know what I know about COVID. For sure. 152,000 last Friday and 155,000 dead in America today. 3,000 in 3 days, okay? What about South Carolina? Where are we sitting at? Now, I want everybody to pay attention to what I'm getting ready to say, because I'm going to run through this, but I want it to hit, and I want it to hit hard, okay? In South Carolina, our first death was on March 16th. March 16th was 140 days ago, 4.5 months ago, 140 days ago, March 16th. Since March 16th, we've had 1,721 deaths. Okay. 1,721 deaths in 140 days. Now, some would say that ain't that bad or whatever. But I want you to take note, special note of what I'm getting ready to say now. Okay. From March 16th, when we had the first death, until the last day in June 30th, that was 106 days. Okay. During that 106 days, from March 16th, the first death, until June 30th, there were a total in South Carolina of 735 COVID-19 deaths. 735 in 106 days. Since July 1st, which was 34 days ago, right? 34 days ago. Since July 1st, we've had 986 deaths in 34 days. Huh? 106 days, we had 735 deaths. And in the last 34 days, we had 908, almost 1,000 deaths in the last 34 days. And they putting out news saying that it's getting better. I don't know what numbers they're looking at. And my numbers come from South Carolina DHEC, WHO. Same numbers they're looking at. I don't get it. How do you go from having 735 deaths in 106 days? That's low over 3 months' time. To in a little over 1 month time, you got almost 1,000 dead, and they're saying it's getting better. Folks, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Yes, Dex, 986 in 34 days. And it's getting worse. The numbers are going up. Now, I guarantee you, watch. And when the numbers start dropping, watch. They playing with them numbers. Why? Because they want these businesses to stay open. They don't care nothing about our health. They want these businesses to stay open. And they want these kids to go back to school. Because there's a certain segment who have their kids in schools that can be protected. And they're not as vulnerable as other people to this virus. Okay? And they're caving into those folks. So they will do just what has been actually reported on a lot of the numbers, that they're intentionally fudged. Okay, I made that comment, that statement a while back about the numbers here in South Carolina. Time will tell. The truth will come out. And when it does, here's my suggestion to everybody and anybody who gets sick from this virus or whatever. Everybody who had an opportunity to protect the community, to protect good people from catching this virus but didn't, we need to file lawsuits against every one of them individually. Everyone from Donald Trump right on down to McMaster and everyone in between. Our school board people who vote in favor of opening these schools back up, our superintendent, sue the heck out of them. Take their life savings, their home, their car, because they could be doing things to have mitigated this, as they say, to have lessened the impact or prevented this. It's said that if they would have initiated the mask protocol nationally in February and March, that now we would have approximately 12% of the deaths, that 155,000 deaths that we have would only be about 12% of them. If they would have just said the one thing, when you are out, wear masks. Wear masks. If they would have said it in March, but they didn't have the guts to say it. They're following behind an imbecile, an idiot, somebody who doesn't believe in science. And then others who don't believe in science who follow behind him and put it off on other folks. And who died? I think it is so funny that's not funny. It's not funny. Have you ever wondered, have you seen the president, right? Having these press conferences and they all are in the rallies and everybody dying but him. I wonder who he know or who he made a contract with. I'm going to leave that to your own imagination. Y'all can fill in the blanks on that for sure. He don't get sick, but everybody else getting sick. His people getting sick. His dude that spoke up for him and stood with him, right? Herman Cain. He not only got sick, but he died. For sure. Yeah, Michelle, I ain't say it. You said it. You said it. You got the purple one up there too, for sure. So, people, let me just tell you this, okay? Your safety is your own responsibility. Do not believe or trust or wait on these government officials to do anything to keep you safe. Keep yourself and your family safe, okay? This whole protocol about opening these schools back up, man, it's foolishness. I just told you the numbers in South Carolina. I just told them to you. You can look them up for yourself. Fact check me. I invite you to, please. And if I'm wrong, tell me so and show me so. And I'll back that thing back off. I'll come back. I'll have a special live telling you, no, I screwed up, y'all. I screwed up. I really, from the beginning, when I first started doing this, had hoped that I was wrong. I've said it more times than I care to repeat. I hope that I'm wrong, because if I'm wrong, then people are not dying at the rate that they are. But if I'm right, then people die. And now we look at the numbers: 735 in 106 days, 986 in 34 days. I'm going to leave that right there. Take care of yourselves. Please, please, man, I love you all. We don't need to be losing anybody else, okay? Wash your hands. If you got to go outside around other people, wear a mask. Wear one that covers your nose and your mouth, okay? Not that under the nose thing or like it's a fashion statement under your chin. No, cover up. Cover up. Because if you got it, you won't transmit it to somebody else. And if somebody around you got it, it can't get through to you. Cover up. Save yourself. Bottom line, okay? Bottom line. And do so because we need, I was talking about them New Jack activists out here. We need a lot of y'all that's on here to get involved in this movement, okay? For years, we've had those civil rights organizations out here, many of them who have outlived their heyday. I'm just going to be honest with you. They're not really relevant to the world that we live in today, even though they have wisdom that they can bring to the table. Many have actually shut a younger demographic out from the activism that they really want to do. Many. Sometimes it's individuals within these organizations, and sometimes it's the organizations as a whole. Instead of cultivating our youth, opening up doors for them, instead of that, they've been gatekeepers from keeping them from them. Instead of making sure that there's another generation of activists that are taking over, because we're going to need that, because these older groups are the folks are going to die. For sure. I'm going to die. You know, that's a given. But I want to make sure personally that when I go, that there's another group of younger activists that at least have listened a little bit to what I might have to say. And they can build on that in order to be the leaders of tomorrow. And that they in turn will do the same thing with the younger group that's up under them in order to keep the revolution going. We can't shut down new membership, new ideas, new thoughts, new energy. We can't shut that down and hope to win the revolution. And when I say revolution, I'm not talking about any violent type of... The revolution is a revolution of systems where we overcome the system of racism, the systemic racism that we encounter, the classism that we deal with, where even poor white people suffer under this system, the sexism that defeats women before women even get started, and the prejudices that our LGBTQ community suffers up under. You see, we have to dismantle all of this. We have to dismantle every last bit of it. And as long as these older groups have been around, a lot of them has shut them down. I mean, we got NAACP, which is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. All power to God bless them. God bless their souls. But if they haven't been cultivating a younger demographic, then they're wrong. And in my humble opinion, this is my opinion. I don't mean to step on anybody's toes, but I have a problem with that term colored people. Okay. I think I would have asked a long time ago, please, can we change that, please? Can we file an amendment to change that? You know, for sure. National Action Network. Still out here grinding. Reverend Al Sharpton, still grinding. But when we look, especially, you know, what's happened locally and with this state chapter or whatever, there are really some great people grinding with NAN right now. But they're older. They're older. They haven't cultivated that young generation. And the ones I'm getting ready to talk about right now, those older ones are not out there on the field with them. NAACP leadership or membership is not out there with them. South Carolina Democratic Party or the Charleston County Party is not out there with them. And you can't keep talking about you are a fighter for justice or you've been in civil rights for 40 years. You can't keep talking about that and hear these younger folks out there on that battlefield every day of every week trying to bring about change, and you just then sit back and watch them. Not calling no names, but some of y'all know who. Some of y'all know who. The book will be out. The book will be coming out. You can believe that. Okay. That's for sure. But you know, here we have a plethora of older groups here in this area. Not only NAACP and NAN, we have CAFE, which is the Charleston Alliance for Fair Employment that works with labor issues. We got the Brady United, which I am on the National Board of Trustees for Brady United, Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence. We have Moms Demand Action. We have the Low Country Gun Violence Coordinating Committee, Butch Kennedy and our team right there. I work along with them. We got the Quality Education Project, fighting for quality public education. The Charleston County Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee. Shout out to Key Smalls in the house for sure. We got Taking Back Our Village out in Lincolnville. We got Take It to Our Streets ministry that's been out working in the Wayland, Dorchester Terrace in that area for about 12, 13 years, okay? We are their voices, another GVP or gun violence prevention group that we have boots on the ground for sure. And the founders of them, that's a gun violence prevention group. Their founders got together because they lost their sons to gun violence. Both of them, their only son. Yeah. And they started this organization. So those that I just named, I know they still putting in good work, okay? Cafe, Moms, the Low Country Gun Violence Coordinating Committee, Quality Education Project, the Charleston County Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee, Taking Back Our Village, Take It to the Streets Ministry, We Are Their Voices. They putting in great work for sure. But we got some New Jack activists. That's what I call them, New Jack activists. We got those, the old school folks, okay? I'm going to call them the old school folks. But we got these New Jack activists out here, man, and they are, yes, they on fire, folks. They on fire. You got Stand as One. Stand as One. And you're going to hear about some events that they got going on in a couple of minutes, okay? Stand as One. Justin Hunt and Brady Matherly, I believe, and others part of Stand as One. They're joined up down there with Rita and Greta and the Tuesday group down on the Battery in the battle to take back the Battery for the people. They partnered up with them in the aftermath of George Floyd, and they ain't let go. See, they ain't let go. They ain't like a lot of these people in pop-up activists, keyboard warriors, Facebook ninjas. They ain't like that. Man, they are out here, they're strategizing and they're strategically moving forward. And one of the things that happened was just 2 weeks ago, they finally, for the first time in the over 3, almost 4 years or so, that the Confederate battle flaggers have been down there standing on White Point Gardens in the Battery in front of that statue. They actually took control over that statue, permitted legally for the day, moved them, slapped on across the street, sent them over there to the colored only side, for sure. While Stand as One and the other groups that are with them took over the spot where the Confederate battle flaggers were. Man, that thing did my heart so good, so much good. Shout out to everybody that's on this live. Stand as One. Change is coming. These are different organizations that are on the set right now. Voices United. Shout out to Erica Coakley. The Wayland Heart Team. This is a group that lives in the Wayland who's ready to make change inside of the Wayland. I'm going to talk about some of the events that these folks got going, real soon, I'm in this live. And I'm going to close talking about this Wayland situation because there's a problem. There's a major problem in the Wayland that has been long-standing, and it's not only the Wayland, it's in Russelldale and Ferndale, and it's in almost every inner city or urban area where we have tried to effect change and make it a better place for everybody. We got We Are the People, Brandon Trolley in the house. I don't know whether you're on board right now, for sure. Power to the People, another group. Black Lives Matter Charleston, that's right. The Black Liberation Fund. These are all different groups. That's 8 that I just named right there. New groups, different groups, upstart groups with that fire. They bring in that smoke legitimately and legally. And they're pressing a system that's been oppressing us. And we've been sitting back waiting on these old folks, my age, to be these mouthpieces. And that's all we've been. I'm going to just include myself in it if y'all entertain me for a minute. It's just been mouthpieces. As James Brown said, they've been talking loud but ain't saying nothing. Like a dull knife, they just ain't cutting. Been talking loud but ain't saying nothing. Come on, somebody. It's time for a change. I watch these younger groups move the needle. Not wait on the needle to move. Not talk about the needle is moving. The needle is shaking. It's right there. It's not moving. Not talking. No, they actually move the needle. And I'm so proud that I partnered up with them, for sure. And I'm going to just say this right now. I so much appreciate the level of respect that our young warriors, our young brothers and sisters give to this old guy. I don't feel as if I deserve it, but I really do appreciate that level of respect that you all give to me. It's amazing. A level of respect that many in my peer group don't give to me. Okay, for sure. I don't know. But I ain't gonna let that stop me from putting in work, for sure. They've been trying to dog this brother out for a long time. But I keep working. Because we stop working, people die. Okay. So now, one of the areas that this group Standard One is fighting is dealing with a young lady that was actually abused and the victim of police brutality back in April. Her name is Iona Sass. And she was accosted by a North Charleston Police Department officer, Officer Melvin Wallace, on April 22nd in the afternoon as she was working on her own bus that I do believe she might have been living in it or whatever, but she was working on it. And this dude came and the cop came and picked a fight with her. I'm going to read this, okay? And hopefully I'm going to have enough time to get to everything I need to talk to tonight. But I'm going to read the accounting. I want you all to hear this because there's an ask at the end of it that I'm going to ask up front. I'm going to ask it right now. I'm pointing this out right now because this Saturday at noon, there is a march over to North Charleston City Hall hosted by Stand as One in support of Iona Sass and the fact that since April 22nd until now, nothing has been done about what I'm getting ready to read to you. So I'm asking everybody on here to get somebody and bring them to this march that's going to be gathering at the Coliseum on Montague before 12 o'clock on Saturday. And at 12 o'clock, we're going to step off marching toward North Charleston City Hall. It's called the Justice for Iona March on North Charleston Police Department. March on North Charleston Police Department. Stand as One hosting it. So let me give you the backdrop. That's the ask. I'm going to ask again. And I know everybody on here, okay? So when I look up on Saturday and y'all ain't there, I might get a call out, for sure. So on April 22nd, 2020, around 1:40 p.m., Iona Sass was on a bus that she owned and was renovating. She had personal effects on the bus, as well as her 6-year-old son, Malachi, and his puppy. While she was working on cleaning out her personal items, North Charleston police officer Melvin Wallace knocked on the secured door of her bus. Officer Wallace insinuated that Iona's bus was under investigation for suspicion of parties being thrown. Having parties on the bus, I guess it's her bus, but, He immediately requested Iona provide identification. At that time, Iona expressed that she didn't have her license on her. And Officer Wallace then demanded that Iona move the bus from the location it was parked. The bus at that time was parked off the main road in an easement, and there were no citations issued for parking violations. Iona could not start the bus as she was working on correcting an electrical issue, and she informed the officer of her situation. It was at this moment that the officer then demanded yet again to see her identification. Let me remind you, that Iona was never under suspicion of a crime. Never really under, or notified that she was under suspicion of a crime. And to our knowledge, was never articulated. It was never articulated to her that she really was. So Iona wanted to look and to ensure that her ID was not on the bus to appease Officer Wallace's request. She informed the officer that her pet and child were both on the bus, and for their safety, she was going to close the door while she looked for identification. It was at this time that Officer Wallace decided he would escalate the situation. He forcibly wedged the door open and began to try to pull Miss Sass from the bus. During the altercation, 2 other officers arrived that have not yet been identified to us. I really don't understand that. And Miss Sass, under duress and in fear for her life, wedged herself between the bus steps and the door with both of her legs planted firmly against the door frame, keeping the officers from pulling her from her bus. The 2 additional officers pulled her legs away from the door frame as Officer Wallace stepped over her and kicked her in the back of the head, striking her neck. Once removed from the bus, the officers detained Miss Sass, still demanding her to provide identification. At this time, Miss Sass provided her driver's license number to the officer since she did not physically have her license in her possession. After running her information, the officers released Miss Sass with no charges or citations issued. Just have a nice day. During this encounter, Miss Sass suffered several injuries as a direct result of police abuse and brutality, and she is currently going through therapy. It is unclear at this time the exact extent of her physical injuries. So now, Stand as One produced this. You can find this actually on Facebook. The entire draft of what I'm actually reading, and it goes on to say that there are many reasons. There are many areas of the story that are concerning, and for many reasons, we can start with the fact that Officer Melvin Wallace should have never created this incident without proper cause. Demanding identification without clear and articulate suspicion that a crime is being committed, or is about to be committed is a direct violation of one's Fourth Amendment rights. Officer Wallace and his accomplices should have never escalated this issue to the level that they did.
Escalating an incident to physical abuse by an officer of the law only justifies the outcry for police reform and transparency from the North Charleston Police Department. Finally, we must not forget that all of this happened in front of Iona's 6-year-old son. He may forever carry these scars. No child should have to see his mother being torn away from their property and beaten by a uniformed officer of the law. So, Standards 1 said, "We are seeking justice for Iona, for her son Malachi, and for every nameless victim of Melvin Wallace that we have not been made aware of. We call for North Charleston's Police Department to take criminal action against Iona Sass's attackers. Not just one, but all three of them." Remember, the other two haven't been named yet. "All three of them must be held accountable for the injustices she has endured." And remember, this was April 22nd. That was 90 days ago, I think, right? "The community of the Tri-County area will not stand silently as the police attack black men and women, stripping them of their constitutional rights, beating them, hospitalizing them, and killing them. This is the story of Iona Sass, and we ask all of North Charleston and the surrounding Tri-County area to join us as we demand justice for Iona." The march is, wow. Miss Sass is on here right now, and she says that her baby just told her, the 6-year-old, about a dream he had about this incident. Folks, okay, before I proceed, let me put a caveat in there, okay? I will always be the first to say that not all law enforcement officers are bad officers, okay? But when we have a situation like this, and it's been 90 days and it has not been thoroughly addressed, we should know all three officers' names. We should have been able to see their service jackets, their personnel file, to review to see if there's a history or patterns and practices of this type of abuse. We should know everything about this case and also the resolution that's on the table right now. Yes, Ms. Sass is being represented. Yes, she does have legal counsel. But we're moving a little slow, folk. And that's why Saturday we need everybody that's on here to meet us at North Charleston Coliseum at noon, about 11:30, and come in peace. Y'all know I don't do nothing but peace, okay? We don't do violence. We don't do tearing up stuff. That's not what we do. But come in peace. And let's make a statement that will be understood, that will be heard, that these delays in justice they are a denial of justice. Dr. King, justice delayed is justice denied. And we will no longer, as a community, allow justice to be denied of anyone. Period. This woman, if you look on the social media pages, you will see, or actually on, I think there's an event page, you will see the damages, the bruises, the scars, the cuts that Miss Sass suffered at these law enforcement officers serve and protect people at their hands. And in the end, all they said was, "Have a nice day." I haven't heard once that they even said, "I'm sorry." Folks, it's time to get the voice out there. It's time to get the people out there. And it's time to get in some good trouble, some necessary trouble on behalf of Iona Sass and her 6-year-old son. Okay? Again, we're not coming with violence or destruction. We come in peace. And we come in numbers. And peaceful numbers will always bring a victory. Always. We just have to stay the course. That's it. Okay? Saturday, noon, march on North Charleston Police Department, hosted by Standards 1. I'm going to be there. And then I'm asking everybody, once we're finished with that march, okay, to make arrangements later to make your way down on the Wayland, okay, that afternoon. The march is at noon from Coliseum over to City Hall, and I believe there's going to be some events at City Hall right then. But later that afternoon at 5 o'clock, from 5 till 7, we'll be in the Wayland at the Shiloh Seventh-day Adventist Church. That's right behind where Gerald's is on Dorchester Road. Dorchester and Constitution, Shiloh Seventh-day Adventist Church is right there. We'll be in the parking lot right there with the Wayland Heart team. Shamiki Gray, Erica Coakley, Dexter White, and some more people. Yeah, Dex in the house, for sure. We will be right there, okay? And what I'm going to let me just read the write-up. That way it'll make it a whole lot easier than me trying to explain it, okay? In an effort to reach out to the people of the community and to uplift our younger generation, we are at a detrimental time in life in which we must not only reclaim the love and respect of the youth. This came out of the fact that in the Wayland recently, there's been a rash of gun violence. Well, not recently, over time, just over time. There's gun violence all the time. There haven't been any murders. People haven't died, but there have been people that have been shot there quite regularly, and they hear gunfire in that neighborhood all the time. It says, we are at a detrimental time in life in which we must not only reclaim the love and respect of the youth, but we also must take this time to heal our elders and our older parents in the community. We can't teach what we don't know. And if we don't know how to effectively communicate or maneuver through life, how can we expect our children to succeed? We all have a part to play as we shift the narrative and start holding ourselves accountable first and teaching our children. We also have to love, uplift, and cherish our children while continuing to encourage them. These are our children. These are our communities. So join us as we step into the neighborhoods and seek solidarity and tangible solutions to build our communities. So this rally is going to follow the march. It's going to be from 5 o'clock till 7 p.m. There'll be speakers and all kinds of things going on there. There are different vendors vendors is not the right word. I don't know what to say. Organizations that will be displaying what they do for the community. Social justice-based organizations, what they do for the community will be there. Educational materials and supplies will be there. And ultimately what the Wayland Heart team, what they're doing is they're beginning to solidify this neighborhood so that as they go door to door through the neighborhood, not all that evening, but over time now, beginning to galvanize this community, to give this neighborhood an understanding that it's a community, and to take that community back from the less savory elements. This is a first step. And everybody that can be involved, just asking everybody to be involved. Let's not let it be on the backs of just these social justice groups, these young New Jack advocates that's out here. Let's not let it be on their backs. Let's all come together. If we all come together and we show a community, especially a community that's been plagued by trouble, that the right people will stand up together against that, those who want to practice evil in those communities will go on about their business. They will move, for sure. If we empower people that if they see something, say so, not just a tagline or a phrase, but to say, I am comfortable enough to call law enforcement in order to protect my community. If we can get people empowered to that, we can take back our communities, for sure. And I'm so proud of Shamiki and Erica and Dex and all of the rest who are boots on the ground in the Wayland right now and going to be joining us, okay, for the community youth rally on Saturday following the march from 5 o'clock till 7 at Shiloh, in the parking lot of Shiloh Seventh-day Adventist Church. Please join us. Please bring somebody with you. So that's just on this weekend, okay, this weekend. There are other things going on. A week from this Friday, there'll be a hate crime rally. This is Brandon Trollinger's group called We Are the People. A hate crimes rally at Felix Davis Community Center up at Park Circle. Okay. Come out and educate yourselves about hate crimes and how we can push for a hate crime law in South Carolina. It's a darn shame. We had Mother Emanuel there, one of the most heinous hate crimes done in the nation in 2015, 5 years ago, and we still cannot get a hate crimes bill passed because we've got, and I'll say it, this is my live, you don't like it, move on, because we got a General Assembly full of Republicans who will not do anything to address racism. Nothing. Or anything to fly in the face of the National Rifle Association, who cuts big checks to certain people. I don't know whether anybody in our state house is doing that, but for some reason or other, they will not pass hate crimes legislation. Maybe they ain't been victimized by hate crime before. I don't know. But you know, it's crazy. South Carolina is one of 4 states out of the 50 states, one of 4 states who did not have a hate crimes bill in place, a law in place. That's crazy. I know Wendell Gilliard has been putting the bill up there and they keep pushing it to the back and they never put it through. And even before him, State Representative Gilda Cobb Hunter put in hate crimes legislation before he did. And here we are 5 years after Mother Emanuel and we still have no hate crimes bill. In other words, one of the flaggers down on the battery can beat a black guy in the head with a flagpole, right? But that's not a hate crime because we got no bill. And what is exactly is a hate crime? A hate crime is classified as a criminal offense against a person or property motivated in whole or in part by an offender's bias against race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, ethnicity, gender, or gender identity. So this rally is going to be on Friday, August 14th from 4 until 6 o'clock p.m. at the Felix C. Davis Community Center in North Charleston, okay? And there'll be a twin rally 1 week later on the 21st down in Marion Square. Same time, 4 to 6 o'clock on August 21st down in Marion Square. Once again, it's We the People, Brandon Trollinger and his group, okay? Let's see what else we got. The day after that, okay, the 14th, August 14th, is the first hate rally for the hate crime bill, rally against hate. Then the next day, there's a rally going on in Orangeburg. The Take Action Now community rally. This is my sister. I think she's on board. Wanda Lewis, nicknamed Sister Soldier. And Sister Soldier been down for the cause for a long time. She's been out there on the front line with Mujahideen Baha in the aftermath of Walter Scott, Black Lives Matter. She was wearing Black Lives Matter when Black Lives Matter wasn't even popular. Yeah, that's right. All power to the people. But here's the background for it. The city of Orangeburg is allowing the racist Confederate flag to fly in the parking lot of the Edisto River Creamery and Kitchen, okay, against the shop owner's wishes for it to be removed. Here's the background, okay? The guy that used to own that property, I think it was one of them Bessingers too. I think they owned that property. It was a little restaurant there. And he sold that property, but he kept a little square of the property that he owned and he gave it over to the Sons of the Confederacy or some of these Confederate flag groups or whatever. It's just a little square. And they erected a huge flagpole on that little bitty section of the property. And they got a big old Confederate flag up there that flies there all day, every day. And can't do nothing about it because this is their property. That little corner, that little section. It's so bad that the proprietor that bought the property and opened up the restaurant, right? Because the people would not come there and patronize his restaurant because they had to go past this eyesore, this Confederate flag. Basically, they're at that point where they're going to close down. So my good sister, Sister Soldier, and a group called Power to the People, okay, Power to the People. It's another one of the groups, okay, for sure. You see, ain't no NAACP involved in this stuff. Ain't no NAN involved in this stuff, and ain't nobody going to beg them to get involved, period. These young folks out here, they're saying, man, we're going to do this. We're going to be about it, because we're going to make the change. We ain't going to wait on somebody else or beg anybody, for sure. which I think is going to have to be my next live. I'll probably do another one in another day, a couple of days, to deal with that whaling situation, which was part 2 of what I got to say. He got tired, huh, Sister Soldier, for sure. But we coming. We coming. This rally in Orangeburg is going to be on Saturday the 15th, and it starts at 4 o'clock p.m. We coming. For sure. we coming. And they put it out, calling out all of Orangeburg and surrounding cities in South Carolina to rally against gun violence as well. So it's going to be both against that flag and the random gun violence that's been escalating in Orangeburg also. It's crazy. So it said, put your hands up and guns down. The life you save may be your own. Enough is enough, okay? And all of this information is going to be on my my Facebook pages. So please, there'll be no excuse now, and I hope that folks will, and I know folks can't make it to everything. I know that, but whatever you can make it, please come out, support, show the power and the strength that we have when we come together in numbers. Power to the People is actually doing, once again, that's Saturday the 15th at 4 o'clock in Orangeburg. I'll have the address and everything on my Facebook pages, all right? Good to go. And also numbers to contact Power to the People and also Sister Soldier. Their numbers will be on there also. Facebook event pages are in effect, for sure, for all of these just about, I think. Power to the People will be having a Running Down Hate fundraiser Sunday the 16th from 7 a.m. until Monday at 7 a.m. And let's see what we got here. That takes us all the way to Friday the 21st. Now, there are other things going on, too, that I just haven't listed here. There are still other things going on. But I just wanted to show you how our younger folks is grinding. And they fighting for you and for me. They fighting for everybody. They fighting for people that just sit back and talk about what they're doing. They're fighting for people who are bad-mouthing what they're doing. They're fighting people who spend more time trying to talk themselves out of being a part of what they're doing instead of just getting up and getting involved. They out here doing it. Yeah, a guy in Orangeburg got killed over a basketball game. But on Friday the 21st, okay, from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, there'll be a march in Columbia, okay, on Broad River Road. A march on SLED, on the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, in order to bring awareness to the Elijah Witherspoon case that SLED is investigating. Elijah Witherspoon was the young guy who was boating with 8 of his friends on June 25th. And for whatever reason, he wound up over the side and they didn't find his body until 3 days later on June 28th. The family suspects foul play. It's my understanding that it wasn't even reported till several hours later that he was missing. The Department of Natural Resources had the case originally and they turned it over to SLED. But the only thing where the question always will lie at is it makes no sense for me that you have SLED investigating something that the Department of Natural Resources should have been actually trusted to investigate. But SLED is the police just like they are. And we got the police policing the police with no oversight on either one of them. So if the fix is in, we'll never know it. We'll never know it. So Stand is one. Once again, the same ones who are sponsoring the March for Our Own Assass on Saturday. They Stand at 1 is having a march on SLED on Friday the 21st from 4 o'clock till 7. If you can make it up to Columbia, Broad River, be there. Be there, for sure. To let SLED know, ain't nobody got time for this craziness. Elijah deserves a proper investigation and his family deserves answers. Remember, this was in June, the last part of June. We in the first week in August. I'm going to say it. If that had been somebody else, one of these folks of privilege, there would have been information out already. They would have done that. Mm-hmm. Right, Justin? Justin says that several of the witnesses' stories contradict each other. So we just want to make sure that they understand one basic fact, one real fact, is that we watching. We watching and we going to hold them accountable. And that we will demand transparency in this thing. And that this is only the beginning of our relationship, where these different organizations have been able to hide up under their rocks, okay, and treat people any kind of way that they want because they have no kind of backlash. They don't feel any kind of pressure. Well, these young groups out here right now, they were ready to put that pressure up, for sure. What they want to do is to make sure that we don't get another video with a cop on a black man's neck. We don't want to get another video of a young black man, a 50-year-old black man, running away from cops, getting shot in his back. They want to make sure that everybody that responds to Black Lives Matter by saying all lives matter understands the error of their ways and will toss up that Duke and say Black Lives Matter. This is their job. This is what they are pushing for. And guess what? This is what I'm pushing for because I stand with them, for sure. You see what I'm wearing, right? Ain't nothing new. I didn't just get this t-shirt. I've been about it, straight up. And just because I say Black Lives Matter, that doesn't mean that, I'm anti-white folk or anything else. No. Loves me some white folk, for sure. Love me some all folks. Everybody that knows me knows that. What I'm not down with is injustice. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And until we change this thing up, until we make Frederick Douglass, I've said it before in my lives, Frederick Douglass says, power concedes nothing without demand. It never has and it never will. And that the measure of injustice that any power will exert over a people is based on how much that people will take. We got to stop taking injustice. We can't just sit idly by. And we don't have to tear up because at the end of tearing up, the same thing's still existing. Nothing's moved. So we have to get smart about what we have to do, what we do. We have to be strategic about what we do. We have to sit at the planning table and decide exactly how we're going to move the needle and then execute, carry it out. Just like we're on the gridiron with a football game or a basketball game. We got a playbook and we go by the playbook and we adjust the plays depending on which way we go because the object is to what? To win. And when we win, folks, the people win. All of the people. We got to do this. We can do this. My last one as I close on this, and I'm going to have to pick up on the next my next live. I'm going to have to do another live in another couple of days so I can pick up what I was going to talk about the Wayland community, okay? But the last event is going to happen on Saturday the 22nd. Remember, the March on Sled is on Friday the 21st from 4 to 7 in Columbia. Start making your arrangements now, okay? Hopefully, maybe we'll be able to find some buses or something like that to drive some people up there. I'm hoping, for sure. Get involved. That's what it's all about. But that next day, that Saturday, from 11 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon at North Charleston City Hall, we'll be there with Gina Mocha, Regina Duggins, representing Precious A. Duggins Academy, and also Voices United, Erica Coakley and Voices United. And they're going to be having a rally that everybody does need to participate in. Again, this rally is dealing with disability and special needs, okay? This is at North Charleston City Hall on August 22nd, Saturday the 22nd, from 11 until 3 p.m. And we need everybody to join in that because our special needs community it's wide and it's neglected. It's consistently neglected, especially in this COVID situation. How many times have you heard people talking about schools and schools opening and everything in COVID, and you never heard anybody say anything about our special needs and our disability kids? Huh? Who? Am I the only one that never heard anything? Nothing. But that's an entirely different system or group of people. Group of people who need special care. That's why they call them special needs. And instead of addressing the issue now, they said, open up the schools, open up. Well, who is going to take care of these least of these? You know who's going to do it? We are. You and me. We are going to take care of them because we're going to bring attention to this problem. and develop a strategy and a plan in order to make sure that our school system, our school board, our city councils and county councils, our mayors, our governors, and they understand that you're not going to neglect any segment of our society anymore. Because we got people that will fight for the people. People from the people, by the people, and for the people that will fight for sure. Let me read their write-up. And then I'm going to sign out for the evening, and we'll be back on again real soon, okay? The Disability and Special Needs Rally, Saturday, August 22nd from 11 o'clock to 3 p.m. at North Charleston City Hall, okay? With Precious A. Duggins Academy and Voices United. Their write-up reads, our special needs have been heavily affected since the closure of school due to COVID-19. And we need a comprehensive plan in place to provide equity and equality for these children moving forward. Disabled and special needs children and young adults need consistency. They need advocacy. They need people in their community that will fight for their rights to a fair and equal educational opportunity. Come and stand in solidarity for our disabled and special needs community. Let them know that you not only care, but you believe that they matter too. Precious A. Duggins Academy and United Voices have joined together to speak out for the voice of the voiceless. We will be following the guidelines for social distancing there, and everyone must wear a mask or a face covering. We need to hear your voices. Please bring your signs and let's stay hydrated. There'll be a series of speakers there. There's you got a cash app where you can actually make donations if you can help in that way, because some of the people I know that follow me are capable of making donations. So we need to make sure that that we are doing everything that we can to move forward. The issue of disabilities and special needs. If we won't fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, we about some sorry. Boy, this is Pastor Dixon. I can't say what's on my mind. Y'all just fill in the blanks. Don't type it on my timeline, though, okay? Y'all fill in the blanks. And y'all forgive me that I even think that way, but I can't. It hurts my heart that we have people who are in elected positions and they've neglected the least of these, which they do regularly. They do it with our homeless. Shout out to Charleston Uplift, Aaron Comstock, and others who are fighting for the homeless. Yep. Bounce Back Incorporated, Walking Women's Welfare, homeless advocates, for sure. We have so many different advocates that are out here. But I'm so impressed now by the energy and the intelligence and the strategic move forward that I see in this younger demographic. I will say it, that as I watch them come together week after week and stand unapologetically in the face of adversaries, in the face of disparate treatment by law enforcement, still come back and stand and hold the law on the law. Man, it does me good, and I'm proud to stand there with them. And everyone that's on here should be proud to stand with them. If you just come and stand with them. This Sunday, we'll be back at the Battery too. Once again, 9 o'clock a.m. Actually, before then, I think from maybe 8 till 1, 7 till 1. Okay. Come on down. Because them other folks going to be there. Guaranteed. But I think this will be the second week that we get a takeover. Legally. Permitted. And guess what? Them people so mad on the other side. They so mad about what's going on, man. They are putting fake pictures of the mayor up and carrying on the internet. Talking about this the mayor. It ain't even the mayor. Man, that thing funny. Thank you for sending me that my brother. But listen, I want to call just tell everybody tonight, man, you all are incredible. I know that tonight was just a whole lot of information and everything, and I'm really looking forward to this next one when I really get into the intricacies of my relationship with this community where we're having the rally at on Saturday, the community youth rally with the Wayland team. I have a long-standing relationship with that community, and it has not been very good. It has not been very nice. And anybody that knows me, all I've ever tried to do was enrich our community. I don't take no money for what I do. I don't get paid for what I do. I have to leave my family to do what I do in the community, just trying to make it better. End gun violence, get a community fixed up or whatever. Never have I gotten anything for it, and never looked for it, never wanted anything. But that community, the leadership in that community and other communities around North Charleston and other areas have literally fought against me making change, and those who stood with me making change. So I'm going to talk about that on the next live. And it ain't going to be pretty. It ain't going to be pretty. So y'all please pray for me. I need it. I'm going to need it. Okay. But I'm just going to bring that truth. And I don't have no problem telling the truth. None whatsoever. I accept the truth when people tell it about me, you know. I think somebody thought they was doing something big by saying, you've been to prison. And I'm like, yeah, I told you that, right? So I'm supposed to be, knocked off a pedestal or something like that because you told me what I told the world? Nah. Yeah. So, all right. It's on. It's on, folks. On the next live, I will be talking about the Wayland community and my relationship there. And all of the things that I've had today, said today, I will be posting up with flyers and hopefully links to the Facebook event pages on my social media page, on my Facebook pages. Y'all, please not only check into them, but make a decision to come on out to these things. And also on Wednesday, make sure that you're tuning into my Facebook page at 8:00 p.m. for community conversations with the candidate. Well, we will have our Charleston County candidate for sheriff, Kristen Graziano, is going to be joining myself and Queen Christine and Ricardo Lewis, Omar Fall, and Sean Middleton for a casual conversation with no kind of restrictions on it. This is one time when we have these conversations, we don't put any limitations on speech. Okay, so if you got any churn to want to watch it, okay, just understand that they might say a little something. Okay, so, but they cool. Listen, hey folks, I know I went long today. Please forgive me, but man, I just want to say in closing, man, just how much I love and appreciate you all, every last one of you. If it's any of the haters on board right here, I love y'all too. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing you can do about that. How you treat me is not contingent on how I love you. My love has nothing to do with how you treat me. And when we get to that point, and everybody ain't there, I get that. Everybody ain't there. God gave me this. He blessed me with that I don't hold grudges or hold things against people or whatever like that. And no matter which way it goes, even if you don't like me, I'm still going to love you. So to all here on this live tonight, man, I love you. I love you dearly. Please tell your loved ones at home, your children, tell them tonight. Tell them you love them. And then get up tomorrow and back it up again and say, I love you again. Give them a hug. Life's too short, folks. Let's sow the seeds of love so ultimately we can have a big old tree of love that'll blossom out of the ground. That day is coming. That day is coming. My heart is happy once again because of our younger generation that's out here fighting the good fight, putting up that good trouble, that necessary trouble. Y'all keep doing it. I love y'all. Have a wonderful evening. Peace.